Hello everyone, my name is Nathan and today it's time for another episode of Oxygen Not Included. In the previous episode we launched our first space missions and got the research back in order to progress. In terms of research, I made a substantial error. I should have gone for solid fuel combustion then hydrocarbon combustion in order to get the petroleum engine. What I did, however, is unlock the solid cargo, which we now can't use because our rocket becomes too heavy for the steam engine in order to go anywhere. In order to circumvent that, I decided we are gonna make use of the solid fuel thruster, so at least now we also get to know that, in order to get to the next tier of asteroids. So if we have a look at the star map, where I wanna go is one of these two asteroids. And with the steam engine alone, we can't do it. This is why I had to install a solid fuel thruster. We have to deliver a bunch of iron and oxalite. The oxalite, unfortunately, I do not have, as you can see right there. So what I made is a temporary setup right here with an oxalite refinery. I hooked it up to my oxygen supply right there, and what this is supposed to do is produce some oxalite for me so my duplicants can grab that and hopefully deliver it to the solid fuel thruster. Now I just finished building that, so I'm not sure what's gonna happen. Yeah, we are gonna need to deliver some gold. Yeah, there we go. It's actually doing it, and there is a lot of heat production, but I don't intend to use it for a long time, you know. However, the heat production is substantial, I have to say. Okay, how much did we get from that? 9 kilograms! Maybe I'm gonna need a little bit of water to contain this. This is also gonna prevent the oxalite from off-gassing. At the moment it's off-gassing, and of course, that would just be a waste. This has a circuit... Oh, 1200, I didn't see that. Oh man. And I thought I planned so well ahead. Let's go ahead and build this downstairs in this case. This way we can take the heavy conductive wire and bring it over there. Beautiful. Let's get this built, guys. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. We have a little pool of water, just a tiny bit, in order to keep it cool, but also prevent the oxalite from off-gassing. And that means theoretically my guys should be starting to deliver this solid fuel thruster. At the moment I don't understand why they are not going for it. Maybe they will only go for it once I have the 400 kilograms. That could be. Okay, we have reached the 400 kilograms mark. I'm gonna try to sweep this up. Actually, Turner picked it up. Let's see where he brings it. Oh no, he only brings it over there. So that means something is wrong with how I want to deliver this. I wonder if they want me to build a gantry. That could be. There we go. Gantry is built. Please deliver. Deliver! Ah, okay. It's actually working. Nice. 400 kilograms of oxalite, just a tiny bit of iron to go, and then we can actually get this started. So I would say we're already gonna send Toby into the command capsule. Okay, for some reason this took really long to deliver the iron, but we finally got it. Toby is in the command capsule. Let's get this baby up in the air. Gotta retract the gantry, that's for sure. Let's check out the star map. Steamy Nate, this is actually Mark II already, since we're now using a solid fuel thruster. Max range, as you can see, just over 20 kilometers, which is perfect. Unfortunately, no storage, but still, let's launch the rocket. Actually, we need to select the target. We have 5 research modules on board, so maybe we can even use that steam rocket in order to do both of these. Ew, we can get methane directly from this one and refined metals from this one. Select the target, launch checklist, all good, let's do it. 3, 2, 1, blast off. Woo! Great, okay. Now, you guys actually let me know another thing about these tiles and how the rockets work. So you did some testing, thank you so much for that. And you figured out that as long as there is a full tile, it's going to be affected by the heat. So all of these tiles right here should be affected by the heat of the rocket, as you can see right here, but the transit tube isn't. And the reason for that is it's not a full block. Everything that is not a full block apparently doesn't get heated up. Of course, the condition for that is that it's in a vacuum, which this transit tube is. So my guess is this is the second to last steam rocket that we are gonna send. We probably still have another load that we can put into the rocket in order to get somewhere else and grab the research from there as well. And after that, we are gonna switch to petroleum rockets. As announced in the previous episode, I also started building on this contraption a little bit. We now need to fill up a layer with petroleum and then a whole bunch of water, and we should be ready to get this started. I'm gonna leech off of this magma heat energy for quite a bit. This should last me at least a couple of hundred cycles. On the other side, that means we have to take apart the rest of the system and kind of revamp it with all the cooling loops, etc, etc. But I'm gonna keep you updated as long as I'm doing stuff on it. At the moment, it's still not really necessary. We have this one running the entire time, and also upstairs we have the solar panels as a support. And then of course natural gas and hydrogen generators are running all the time. The natural gas is actually backing up, and then just every now and then we're also using up the petroleum. This means we can still add a whole bunch more power to the system and not get to our capacity just yet. How is my rocket doing? 9%. Okay, yeah. This is gonna take a little bit longer, actually doubly as long, so I wonder. We definitely want an extensive rocket program, which also means more astronauts. That reminds me actually, I invited Max to the joint. He is also going to be an astronaut, currently in the training. That's another thing that I announced in the previous episode. In the future, I want to make my base modular, and what that means, well, I guess we're gonna learn in the future. But in order to prepare the modular base, we basically need to dig out the entirety of the map. I don't know how else to put it. So every now and then I'm gonna give my duplicants a whole bunch of dig commands. And in due time we're gonna have the rest of the map dug out as well. I mean, by this point we did almost half of it, really. Alrighty, we are back, and I just completed the space mission with Steamy Nate Mark II. We have also made some progress here as well as at the bottom. So I'm trying to complete this design, eventually fill it up with the necessary liquids. It's gonna be some process, that's for sure. We just had a meteor shower, so I hope Ellie and Hassan are not gonna get into any troubles as the rocket returns. The timing is actually really bad. Maybe just to be sure, I'm gonna tell them to go ahead and wait upstairs. There we go. I don't think you can do it in time. Okay, just wait one more moment. Okay, that should be good enough. Well, I guess it's only 300 degrees. They should actually survive it. And did we get the modules? I have to expand the gantry now. Unassign Toby, and let's check out what we have. Yes, lots and lots of data banks. I also want to check on the star map what that means. Did we? Yeah, we actually got everything. So that means we should be able to do that with the other asteroid as well, which means I'm gonna start filling it up immediately again. I'm also gonna put up another gantry right here in order to resupply the solid fuel thruster. Another thing I would like to slowly but surely do is drain this petroleum. It's a little bit of a waste. It's all of this minus 50-degree petroleum that I'm just gonna dump into here and feed into my machine. But I think this is the best spot to actually start doing that. Every other spot is gonna destroy something that I really want to keep up. At the moment the hydrogen is minus 209 degrees, so that should be enough to at least get a little bit of liquid oxygen in the joint. It's all I want, just the sensational feeling to have accomplished it. Technically, I should be able to take the hit here. Well, it's not really a hit, it's just gonna fill up my petroleum pool here a little bit. And if we do this layer by layer, we should be fine. Also with the heat, it shouldn't do too much to the heat if we don't do it too quickly. I guess so that's another process we now initialized, and that's just gonna keep going, or maybe not. It's just 1 kilogram left in the upper tile. That's always a little bit confusing. If there's a tile, the liquid below is filling up the entire tile, no matter how much it is. So I guess we can take apart the second block here as well. Okay, now we have a better representation visually, at least. Let's get up to the next project, and namely this one here. I want to start cycling the object so that we can get constant steam going in this machine. At the moment, I'm really dependent on the steam vent that is just overproducing really hot steam, and we're still not getting the best out of the system. So what we should probably have a look at is how we cycle the objects. I might want to go ahead and do a loop like this, so we go back. Yeah, let's maybe do that. So we're just gonna cut everything so I can rearrange it. Well, we really need to initialize the loop with a bridge, and that could be a problem since I cannot place this anywhere. I first have to remove the ladder. I'm gonna be right back. Oh, hold on, that was a filter. Of course, I wanted to set up a bridge, which I can almost place anywhere. So I'm probably gonna end up placing that here, which means the items coming from the top, the new ones, won't have the priority. So we're gonna remove the lower conveyor rails, and then we are gonna loop like so. We are gonna do the shutoff right here, probably. Or actually we could just do a thermosensor so we don't have to use any power for this, and we are gonna go through that. Yeah, this is actually perfect. So we could do a conveyor thermosensor, have that right there, hook it up with a wire, and then if the temperature is still too high, it's gonna continue. Actually so easy. And then we just go back into here, and since we have priority coming from the bottom, it should work out. I'm also gonna open this up very briefly in order to be able to collect the materials that I still have in there. Oh, by the way, we should go ahead and research the petroleum engine now finally. So invest the modules we got into that research. We got our temperature sensor in place. Sending out a green signal is gonna open the chute. So as long as the temperature is still above 200 degrees, we wanna open the chute. Actually below. If it is below 200 degrees, then we wanna open the chute, so the item drops out. Naturally, that means we wanna go ahead and grab a bunch of these items, bring them over here. Looks like we have our regolith incoming. At the moment, the regolith isn't... Oh, not sure how I could forget about that, but of course we need to decide the flow of the items, so we are gonna get rid of that and add a bridge instead. But here we can see the items are below the 200 degrees mark, so they're just going to be dumped into the water. And then once we get the new regolith, the hot one, this should all look a little bit different. Yay! Research completed! Petroleum engine, finally. That's going to be a good one. The next stage would be hydrogen engine, but I don't think we're ready for that just yet. Biological cargo bay. A sightseeing module. Well, gas canister and liquid cargo tank are surely going to be one of the important things, so let's go for that. The petroleum engine should do the trick for the foreseeable future. For some reason, one of my bunker doors disappeared. I'm not sure as to why this happened, but it's all fixed now. Alright, nice. Now we already have 200 degree regolith flowing in, which means hopefully the steam in the background is gonna heat up a little bit. Now, actually, for as long as it's still this cold, I'm gonna lower the number. Let's go to 150. They actually just reached the 150 degree mark as they approach here. Here they are still almost 200 degrees. So this is efficient going through the temp shift plates. That kind of makes me want to install more of these guys. Let's do 3 more temp shift plates like so. We almost ran out of steam in the room actually here. This added up perfectly because we have the steam engine completely full and also everything has been delivered here. I have enough oxalite even for another tour, which means I should disable this. Yes, stop producing oxalite. And we should also be able to deconstruct the gantry again. Beautiful, ready for the next flight. We are not gonna wait around. Toby, I hope you peed. For the first time we had a couple of objects actually cycling. Good, so that means it's working. The steam is still only at 100 degrees. Not good enough. But there we go. Items are above 150 degrees, so they are just cycling. Toby, no, are you serious? Another meteor shower. There is two meteor showers per cycle for the last 3 cycles. Well, at least this one was rather short. Okay, Toby, let's freaking do it. Toby, where are you? It's freaking lazy, I tell you.
What the heck, Toby? What are you doing? Storing slime? You are an astronaut.
Can't believe this is happening. You go right there, and please, just hop inside. By the way, we can get some iso resin as a special ingredient from this asteroid, the metallic one. But yeah, I have no idea what's going wrong with this command capsule, so maybe let's reconstruct it and see if that helps. You know, I think a really big problem I'm having is that these temp shift plates are taking the coolness from the water, overpowering the heat of the items. We might be able to make this a bit better by distributing the water, so this layer here at least is not actually water but steam. Yes, please drop down enough. That would be great. And this way we might be able to heat up the steam a little more efficiently. Oh, hold on. My hopes are going up. Maybe the rebuilding actually helped. Great. Okay, we're ready to start. Beautiful. Star map, Steaminate. We're going to this asteroid launch mission. Once again, see you later. Great stuff. Great stuff. With that research, we should then also be able to complete the cargo canister and liquid cargo tank. And that means we are also now interested in actually building a petroleum engine, which is gonna go right there. There she is, the beautiful petroleum engine, what we've been working for. Do you have a liquid intake? No? Hold on, how do I even... Okay, so we need the fuel tanks actually. I see, so we would at least take one liquid fuel tank with us, put that right there. Then solid oxidizer tank, and then we can have 2 cargo modules and a couple of research modules, and then there is going to be the command capsule. Solid plan, I would say. Alrighty, we are back. It is a couple of cycles later, I have to admit. I made some progression. We have already landed with the steam rocket, and as you can see, I took apart my steam setup and expanded the rocket silos downwards. So now we have the space for a rocket with 11 modules, and using the website I calculated that I can go to the 30 kilometers mark with 5 science modules as well as 1 cargo bay on board if I have a petroleum engine with 2 liquid fuel tanks and 1 solid oxidizer tank. Obviously we took the research from the steam rocket that came back, and actually I already researched the liquid and gas cargo right there. That's what we have been researching, and now I had enough modules. I'm now going directly into the hydrogen engine, even though we might not be using that for a couple more flights. At the moment I'm producing more oxalite. I need something like 1,200 kilograms of it, and I'm also gonna need 1,200 kilograms of petroleum. One of these tanks can only hold 900 kilograms, so it's a little bit unfortunate, but that's the rocket setup we're gonna have for our next mission. In the meantime, I have completely disassembled the petroleum room we had. I pumped everything up. We did lose a couple of the molten slicksters here. I think it went too cold. But now we're ready to establish the liquid oxygen setup. I have hydrogen here at minus 200 degrees, so cooling down a little bit of oxygen shouldn't be an issue. Now let's get things started with the capability of actually pumping out the gases. So we're gonna go with a small gas pump right here on the top. I also want a way to get the oxygen in the room, and I think 2 kilograms per tile are gonna be enough. We are then going to need a signal switch as well as an automation wire in order to shut off the pump once this is a vacuum. That's the only reason we really need it. Then last but not least, we're gonna need a liquid pump in order to pump out the liquid oxygen, though we probably only want to do that if it is at a certain temperature. So we should include a thermosensor. Gonna put that right there and hook it up to this machine. And I guess that's probably it for now. Now, the thing is, this is only really an experiment. I intend to very soon disassemble most of the stuff and use the nullifier for something else. But I want to see how difficult it really is to get the liquid oxygen. The reason it's useless is we would have to pump it all the way up, and this would just cause us to lose way too much heat. We need to create the liquid oxygen as well as the petroleum nearby the rockets. So for now, we're just gonna go with the oxalite that we are producing. Another thing that I had to change is I put the items inside of the water, so they are now producing much more steam. I re-established this wall because I was getting too much steam on this side. Now we have 13 kilograms at 102 degrees. So maybe the most elaborate setup would be to send the items through the water as long as we don't have enough steam, and if we have enough steam, we're gonna use the items in order to heat up the steam itself. That would be really cool, but probably for another time. Now, of course, we're gonna need power. Let's do it like so and get rid of that. The oxygen itself, we probably want to grab from upstairs. I have a ton of oxygen here in the upper room, so we're gonna install a pump, I guess. Also, I can probably take apart this setup by now. Save a little bit on power and materials. Finally, solid oxidizer tank has been built. So how much do we need? Let me check the website. We need 1,093 kilograms exactly, so let's round this number up to 1,100. That means right here 1,100 oxalite please, and we're gonna do 900 plus 200 kilograms in the upper tank. This also means we should be able to hook up the petroleum that I've already prepared. I added a couple of tanks and just hooked it up to my petroleum line that I already had established there. So now we're filling this tank up really quickly. This is so great. I'm really looking forward to the DLC actually, where you can use these rockets to land on the asteroids and actually play them. It's gonna be a great addition. Actually, for both of my rocket silos, I want to prepare everything that's necessary to grab the items, for instance, or to input the liquids. So eventually I would like to see some permanent setups with the pipes as well as the items right here. I'm actually going to do them right away. So once the rocket comes back, we can grab the items and actually dump them right here next to our transport tube. Another tip you gave me is you can actually let the gantries burn down and just disable the auto repair and they're still gonna function. But I kind of like the setup where we can retract them, and if I only use one gantry at a time, we can hook them all up to the same circuit. So for instance right here, we needed another gantry in order to supply the solid oxidizer tank. Okay, there we have our oxygen pump. I set up a element sensor with a NOT gate, so as soon as we detect some oxygen, it's gonna send a green signal and therefore shut down the vent, and the oxygen is gonna go through. Every other element is gonna be expelled by this high gas pressure vent. The oxygen is then gonna go through all the way into my room, which I'm currently still pumping out. We are then going to collect the liquid oxygen in this reservoir tank, and if that works, the experiment is actually successful and we will do a liquid oxygen setup somewhere on the top where it's going to be more useful. But I just wanted to include that in this episode since it's always been my dream. There we go, we have our vacuum, so let's shut off this pump and then we can go ahead and connect this again, I guess. Oxygen is gonna flow in. It's already very cold actually. There we go, let's actually see properties. Minus 183 degrees. So let's try to go to minus 190. If it is below, we want to send a green signal and therefore enable the liquid pump. Oh no, I forgot to replace the insulated... Well, I guess we can easily fix that. I just need to get up there and then we are going to replace this tile with tungsten. This should be possible without any exchange of gases. There we go, that's much more like it. I did lose a little bit of heat in the process, but what you gonna do? Now we have the oxygen, it is being cooled down. I guess we're gonna get back to that in a couple of cycles in the next episode. Alright, with that out of the way, I would say we're going to wrap up this video by actually finishing filling up this tank and then we're gonna launch the mission. Okay, now that's gonna be interesting. We are 0.8 kilograms below the actual target that the website told me I need. And let's see. Okay, interesting. Too far for the target. Let's see if we add just a tiny bit more oxalide, if that really is gonna do the trick. There it is, right? Yeah, there we go. Now we are over the target. Let's check this out. Now we can reach it. Okay, the website is ingenious. We probably want to go to one of these satellites since we are going to collect a couple of materials as well. We have 5 modules in order to collect the research. So that should be good. Let's go ahead and assign Toby to take care of this mission. We are also gonna retract this gantry and this one is already expanded. Good. Ah, there we go. Toby, our hero. I'm gonna call this one Petrol Researcher Mark 1. Let's check this out. Destination not selected. We would want to go right there. So all seems to be fine at this point. Alright, that's gonna take a couple of cycles, but it's definitely gonna be worth it. Hopefully my liquid tanks are gonna survive that. Yeah, there she goes. Actually, nothing really heated up here. Of course, the insulated tiles, they did heat up a lot, but yeah, we're still good. Even with the petroleum rocket, we don't have to fear for our tubes. Great stuff. I would say with that out of the way, we're gonna wrap it up for today's episode. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great time and see you soon. Bye bye.